Steve, you've set the studio up slightly different this time. Why have you put me in the low chair?
Hello and welcome to Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous. This week, Penny is on the low chair. Penny, I'd like to apologise for placing you on the low chair. How are you down there?
I find it a bit offensive, to be honest, that you've put me on the low chair. But then if you'd put me on the big chair, my feet wouldn't touch the ground, would they?
If you'd like Penny to be on the big chair, why don't you go to makeyourselfalittlebitfamous.com/podcast and vote for her and the chair that she should sit on.
Hello and welcome to Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous, the business podcast that helps you power up your profile and get known for what you do. I'm here to talk about making yourself a little bit famous. If you're looking to get noticed but shy away from the spotlight, this is for you. Or maybe you see others getting attention for their careers or their businesses. Well, if so, you need to make yourself a little bit famous.
Coming up in this episode,
stop colouring in and sketch your future.
Find out why polishing your performance is the enemy of taking action.
Also, in my practical tips, why your opinions matter and why sharing them will help you get noticed.
Why do opinions matter?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I've never known.
We answer your questions today. It's a new attorney who needs clients. Overruled.
My lord.
You're supposed to say sustained. Plus, who's making themselves a little bit famous, Penny?
He helps companies with cash flow and has fun doing it. It's Mike Boss, the fair finance guy.
Tough times call for tough measures, so I poured myself a double.
I'm Penny Haslam.
And I'm Steve Blears. Okay, Penny, first up, it's what are you motivationally speaking about?
Well, this time, Steve, I'm motivationally speaking about procrastination.
Are you taking the mickey out of the way I speak? Go on.
Go on, say it again. What am I what?
Motivationally speaking.
I am motivationally speaking about procrastination. Let me give you a little story. It's about an embarrassing email. Love an embarrassing email story, don't we? It's not that kind of embarrassing email story, but this embarrassing email, it's embarrassing because it took me 3 months to write. Not full time, not that slow. Goodness sake. But pretty long time. It's when I was dragging it around, a bit of a burden. And it was around the time I was setting up as a professional speaker and as a coach and trainer to help people raise their profile. Okay, simple. What do you need to do in order to get out there more? You need to do sales and marketing, don't you? And I used to tell myself that I couldn't do sales and marketing. I was rubbish at sales and I don't know what to do. Someone said, just send emails. Okay, I can do that. Could I, though? No, 3 months. 3 months. Why did it take me 3 months? Well, I was focusing on the performance of it all, the 25%. I was dwelling in this area too much. I was thinking about the logo. Oh, I need a logo. Eventually, I got my logo. Oh, what am I going to write? What am I going to write that won't make me look like an idiot when people receive it? Oh, I think I'll just tinker around with that, fanny around with that for a little bit longer. What about the headshot? Oh, the headshot. Oh, who loves having a headshot taken? Nobody. I was gurning. Right, headshot. Where's it going to go? Middle, left, right, centre? How the hell does MailChimp work? Oh my, you can spend days in that thing. So anyway, this is the point of spending too long polishing and perfecting something. Why was I doing that? Any ideas? Procrastinating. Why do we procrastinate? Fear. It's that dreadful thing that we're all prone to doing, is to focus on the detail, dot the I's, cross the T's, make sure everything is just right, make sure everything is just super duper before we can dare to publish it, before we can dare to go public with it. And really what's behind it all is the fear. I'm afraid I will fail, Gail, is basically what I said. So I rang my friend Gail. Now, Gail runs a ladder store and she's very successful. And I rang her and went, Gail, do you know what? This isn't for me, this kind of getting out there business. She went, Penny Haslam, you are colouring in. You've got all your nice pens out, you're colouring up to the edge, and you're making sure that everything's really neat. So you've got to stop colouring in and sketch your future. Stop perfecting that performance because it stops you getting known as an expert in your area and somebody who's good, and your image being brilliant, and it stops you getting out there and getting the exposure that you need.
So you kind of procrastinated over this marketing email. What else qualifies as colouring in or stuff you should just get on with?
Well, this is stuff that often shows up on your to-do list that hasn't been done for quite some time. So it might be 3 months in my case, it might be 3 years. I mean, I had on my to-do list build a website for 10 years. In fact, until I met you and you could actually build my website for me. But I didn't know how to go about it. It seemed like too much of a big deal, so I just left it on my to-do list. But it might equally be something quite simple, like picking up the phone and arranging to go for a coffee with somebody, asking somebody to mentor you, maybe uploading a CV if you're looking for a job, or sending an email or an inquiry to somebody who might be able to help you, that sort of thing. Or it might be in your own personal life away from work. Might be other stuff that will help your enjoyment of life a little bit more, like learning a language or planning a big trip or something like that. Stuff you're putting off. You've got to ask yourself, why am I putting that off? And it's not just because it's too hard. It's because you're too frightened to get on with it at this moment in time. So once you've accepted that, you can pretty much press on.
So you spent 3 months writing that email. What happened when you actually sent it?
Well, this is the ironic thing. Loads of lovely things happened when I actually sent it. I got 3 responses straight away. One was saying, "Oh, brilliant, I didn't know that about you. I didn't know you'd set up in a new business. I thought you were still broadcasting. So, hi, great to connect again." Another one was, "Brilliant. Can you tell us how much you'd charge us to facilitate our leadership away day?" Fabulous, scoping out some work. And a third one was just saying, "Let's go for a coffee. I've got some ideas for you that will help, and connect you with other people." So it was all about communication, connection, and customers as well. So it made sense to me emotionally. But before I got stuck into sending that email, I hadn't quite felt that impact yet. And so it was a bit of a blind leap of faith. As daft as it sounds to anyone who's good at sales and marketing or email newsletters and email marketing, it does sound really silly. But for me, it felt very exposing.
So one of the things you mentioned while you were speaking in that clip was the fear. How can people get over that hump? How can they get past the fear?
I think just breaking down what it is you want to do. The worst thing is to carry this thing around with you, whatever it is on your to-do list. Drag it round. It's always in your back brain, just niggling away. And I think if you can break down what it is you want to achieve into small bite-sized chunks and then get someone to help you with those chunks, someone to hold you accountable, check in with you once a week and say, "Have you done that thing?" Like my friend Gail, and I was telling her about it and she basically called me out and went, "You're colouring in."
So what are you procrastinating about? Need some help to stop doing it? Head over to the makeyourselfalittlebitfamous.com/podcast page and download Penny's free tips on how to stop colouring in.
And sketch your future. Still to come in this episode, he's making himself a little bit famous. Mike Boss.
And who am I? I'm the finance guy. Mike Boss. I'm the boss.
Hey Steve, what are you reading?
I've got a copy of Penny Haslam's fun business book, Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous. It's helped me power up my profile and get known for what I do.
Would you like me to sign it for you with a dedicated inscription? Dearest Steve, stop messing around. Let's get on with the podcast.
And if you'd like your own specially signed copy, head over to the website and add your message in the checkout. It makes a great gift, and we can post it anywhere in the world.
You're listening to Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous, the business podcast that helps you power up your profile and get known for what you do.
It's Penny's practical tips time, and today it's practice your opinions. Penny, what do you mean by practicing your opinions, and why do opinions matter?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I've never known. I don't have an idea about that. Opinions matter. Now, that's not to say that you should be opinionated, which is what people are at Christmas dinner tables, and everyone falls out a little bit, isn't it? That's why you don't bring up politics at dinner party conversations, is because opinionated people just get a bit annoying. So this is to do with having an opinion, or having a comment on something, or having something to say, something that you believe in, something that you can stand up for, something that shows expertise. Now, a lot of the time, people aren't used to expressing their opinions because they either operate in a large corporate environment where saying I in front of stuff is a bit unpalatable, and we say things like we do this, we do that. But an opinion has to start with the letter I, think, blah, 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 in order for people to understand who you are, what you believe in, what you stand for, and to understand if they should feel that your opinion is right or wrong as well. It's useful. You know, you can sit with both bum cheeks clenched either side of the fence, but ultimately it is quite uncomfortable.
Do you know what?
Get off the fence.
I've just thought of something. When I was a radio reporter, I used to go out and do a thing called a vox pop, which was basically...
It's Latin for voice of the people.
Yeah, basically you'd go out into the street and you'd ask somebody, just stop people in the street and go, what do you think about this story? And quite often it would take me, 5-10 people that'd stop before anyone would actually have an opinion on anything. And they were the ones that I needed.
Or,
not the people who just went, I'm not really bothered.
Or they'd have an opinion, but they'd take a long time to get to it, or it'd not be quite strong enough. So it might be like, well, I think it might be, and I'm not sure, but it could be. And actually expressing your opinion in a direct, confident way, not authoritative, but confident way, is really appealing. And it's not that you have to have strong opinions all of the time on everything, but it is well worth having opinions on the stuff that you are expert in, you have expertise in, stuff that you have experience and passion and knowledge in. Then yeah, surely you should have something to say on those topics as well.
So for example, using Penny's face technique from episode 1, I'm interested in video, and I hate it when people shoot their own little social media videos and they do it in their car. I think it looks weird being filmed inside a car. I think you kind of look like, that you haven't got an office and you've got nowhere to go. You look lonely and a bit weird. I know it's quiet and comfortable, but it just drives me mad when I see it. Something like that? Is that an opinion?
Yeah, I mean, you are fairly opinionated and strong. You have strong opinions, which is why I like you, Steve. But I think for businesses, for organisations, for individuals, for ambitious employees, if you like, having an opinion, what do you think is really, really beneficial? Try it in meetings.
What if you're the sort of person that kind of just goes with the flow? Should you make your opinions up, or do you genuinely need to kind of feel that? I mean, how do you get them? You've got to kind of feel something about an issue or whatever, haven't you? You've
got to feel something about an issue, but quite often you don't suddenly wake up and go, right, I feel very strongly about this, or, oh, that's great, I'm going to express that. These things kind of take a bit of workshopping, if you like. So you could phone a friend, or have a chat with a colleague about something, listen to other people's opinions and decide which ones you feel most strongly aligned to, and go with those sorts of ideas. You don't have to express novel or new opinions all of the time. I didn't have strong opinions on anything when I first left corporate life, when I first left being a BBC news presenter. It was when I was asked to express my opinion that I thought, I better find some. And when you practice them, you get more and more of them. They become more easy to you. You become more familiar with what you stand for, who you are, what you believe in, and expressing them. That's the really important bit of this. Helps other people go, oh, right, okay, I know what you're about now.
Do you have an opinion? Tweet it with the hashtag #BitFamous so we can see it. Hey Penny, I see you're holding your generic tablet device. What are you doing? Playing Candy Crush again?
Not this time, Steve. I'm reading Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous. It's available on Kindle.
That's so cool. Physical books, the new name for books, are so passé, and they collect dust.
Yes, that's right. There's almost 200 pages of tips on getting out there, and I can take it anywhere while saving on my airline baggage allowance.
It's time to find out who's making themselves a little bit famous. And today it's Mike Boss, the finance guy.
Fairer finance guy.
AKA the Fairer finance guy. Check him out on LinkedIn. He helps businesses with their cash flow. He sells financial products. It sounds dull.
Oh, doesn't it?
But Mike is anything but.
Tough times call for tough measures, so I've poured myself a double. When you're on the floor, you need to drill down. Ramp up. We need blue sky thinking outside that box. Don't tell me it's impossible, break it down, damn it. Impossible becomes I'm possible. We need to sharpen the saw. So who are we? We're the Boss Corporation, a big hard business in a big hard world.
Now, Mike is great fun online. That helps. But you know what, Penny? I love it when people take our advice. Mike got in touch. He'd been listening to episode 2 of the podcast, Run for Mayor, and he's done something about it.
Yeah, absolutely. He worked on his campaign issues, and fairer finance for businesses has become his main subject. Now, he reckons they're paying more than they need to when they buy vehicle fleets, computers in bulk, that sort of thing, and so wanted to share his opinions and express them, but do it in his own authentic, personality-led way.
Go, Mike.
Now, this is the bit where we answer your questions about getting out there. Marcus Raitt, who's a recently qualified lawyer in America, got in touch via our Facebook Live. He was asking for tips on finding new customers.
Marcus is an attorney at law.
Is he?
Overruled.
My lord. Oh, no.
You're supposed to say sustained.
Yeah.
Overruled. Hi, Marcus. And I know he's just starting his own legal practice.
Yes.
Hey,
You've got to
Marcus,
make yourself
very,
a little bit
very
famous.
Exciting. So I know you start your own practice, and you actually have seen quite a lot of posts that you've done on Facebook about case law and stuff like that. Maybe think about stuff that's more customer facing, unless you're kind of looking for corporate clients. It depends what kind of clients you're going for. If it's criminal law you want to do, then think about where those people hang out, probably on
Jail.
Instagram or jail.
I don't know what works well in the States. It might be slightly different, but in Manchester city centre, if you go to a networking event at lunchtime or after work, then it's going to be awash with solicitors and lawyers and accountants. And people tend to network with each other, which is really useful for referring work on. But again, building relationships is key. But there are also, of course, corporate clients and indeed individuals who you might be representing who you need to court. Get it? Did you get that? But anyway, we've got a great employment lawyer mate who does loads of smartphone videos and is really funny himself.
Yeah,
He talks about case law a lot. Really interesting the way he does it. He doesn't want to work with boring people. He wants to work with fun people, and he does actually get those customer connections.
Yeah, check him out on LinkedIn,
HRDs
actually,
and
Marcus.
things like
Simon Robinson of Robinson Ralph. Check him out on LinkedIn. It's really kind of slightly off the wall.
Yeah, but it works for him. So using your personality, making your opinions known, or at least sharing information, case law, updates on legislation, it's all there for the taking. But the last thing you want to be is buttoned up and toned down. Be yourself, because everyone else is taken. That's according to Oscar Wilde.
Very good.
Thanks.
Good quote.
Thanks.
Good quote.
I thought of it myself.
Very good. And if you've got a fame query, why not send us a question to hello at bitfamous.co.uk, or join the Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous Facebook group and post it there.
Hey Steve, I'm looking over your shoulder at your big desktop and I can see a website looks amazing. What is it?
I'm on makeyourselfalittlebitfamous.com. I've hopped on here because it's got some great resources. Look, have a look at this one. It's a free presentation planner, and there's another one here called Face.
Using Penny's face? That sounds rude.
It's not, though. It's I'm not quite sure what it is, but you're going to explain to me what it is.
I hope it's a... If we open it up, looks like a planner for things to say, so you sound concise, compelling, and confident. Hey, how about you use it in the sales meeting with Jeff later?
Yeah, he's going to be well impressed, and so is Brad and Kenny. This fabulous podcast is nearly at an end, but not before we do the Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous challenge, where we challenge you to actually stop listening to it and start doing it. Now, our theme this time has been opinions and stop colouring in.
And sketch your future.
So get on with it. The challenge, as the great philosopher Madonna once said... Did you write this?
Yeah.
Express yourself.
She did. So, the challenge is this. Head over to social media and add your opinion to an industry peer or sector colleagues or friends' post. Be nice, keep it friendly, don't compete. Like their post and add your views or experience and your opinion. Easy. Express yourself.
Very good. And should we start asking people to send in their homework in this challenge to us?
I love that.
You know what I mean?
But I don't want to receive it on an email, Steve.
I think we do.
Hello.
I think we ask people to do this challenge. I'm not sure they're all doing it. I'm not sure they're all...
#BitFamous on LinkedIn, on Twitter. I don't do very much else. Maybe a bit of Pinterest. Maybe a bit of Insta.
Express yourself. Are you going to sing us out with that one? I don't know if we've got copyright issues with you singing Madonna.
I'm more down here.
This episode.
Express yourself.
And to sing us out in this episode, we have Penny Haslam with Express Yourself. I'll get you started.
Don't take second best.
Don't go for second best, baby.
That's it for this episode. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and share it with your friends.
To get involved, check out makeyourselfalittlebitfamous.com
or join the Facebook group.
Our email again,
hello
@bitfamous.co.uk.
You can tweet me @Penny Haslam
and follow me @Steve Blears.
So I've been Penny Haslam.
I'm Steve Blears. Thanks for listening.
Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous is a podcast from Bit Famous Limited. It's produced and edited by Steve Blears. Music is licensed through Audio Network.